Today I met three really nice guys from Iran. They remind me of like my father and my father's friends, and they were so shocked that I, an American, would be here volunteering for no money, and that we would be providing all of this support for the refugees trying to make their way across Europe. Even they wanted to take a picture with me. It was a very nice picture. Hopefully, he emails it to me. I gave him my email address, but they were so thankful and so kind. It's one of the many people I've met here. I did not catch his name, but I gave him my name. Yesterday, I met a guy named Momin, Momin, and he was a young guy. He said he was 17, but maybe he was a little bit older. Maybe I just didn't remember correctly, because he said his father, was killed in a Taliban attack in 1996. So it would have mean he would have had to been at least, I think, 18 or 19. Terrible story. His mother's still in Afghanistan, and he has actually traveled all the way by foot and by car and by bus. It took him 1 month to get from Afghanistan to where we are today in Lesvos. And he traveled across many countries. And at some point he said he had to run, especially through, I believe he said Iran. He had to run through it because there was people shooting at him. And some of his friends died. And he says he's seen a lot of death, which is so unfortunate. So unfortunate to be that young and to see that much death. He also was looking for some woman to bear his children, which was very funny. His English was impeccable. He had almost an American accent because I think he's watched a lot of American TV and listened to a lot of American music. He likes rappers like Eminem, 50 Cent, who else? Akon. So he had that kind of accent to his English. He is going to Germany to live in Germany. He has some family. I can't remember if he said a brother or something like that, but he had 14 cousins. So he had many cousins in Germany. He's going to live there. He's going to be a chef, which is very interesting. He wants to cook. He'll do a training program once he gets there. He actually studied business. He didn't like it. He said it was boring, and so he started cooking, and he really liked it. His favorite kind of food to cook was Chinese. He was a young boy with just so many dreams. So many dreams. Such a player face, such a strong-willed individual. And I hope that he can make it all the way through to Germany to meet his family. And what else was very interesting about him? He was just a very interesting young man. Moment. He asked me many questions about myself, like why I was married, and why I didn't have any children, and like where I was from, and so many times the refugees are more interested in what we're doing here as volunteers and why would we even do this than we are of them and where they've come from, where they're going. His boat trip, that's right, his boat trip across from Turkey only took 1 hour. So it was very fast. But they came, I think they came during the day, and I think they came when it was raining. So it was a bit cold and they were wet, but they made it across safely. He paid $1,000, 1,000 US dollars, to make that crossing. It's very interesting. His ferry out was the next morning, which was this morning, because I met him last night. It's nice to have some slower days in Moria, because we can have a chance to talk to the refugees. Colin's coming now. Maybe he's not coming. Oh, nope, wrong person. Anyway, who else did I meet last night? I met some amazing Syrian men. There was two in particular. They were also my father's age. It reminded me exactly of someone that I would meet, like one of my father's friends, and very well spoken in English too. And they were talking about how beautiful Syria was. It's one of the most beautiful countries, but how terrible it is that everything is being destroyed, and how he was very philosophical about it. He's just saying if we just, if we all loved if we all loved each other, that these terrible things wouldn't happen, that this war in Syria wouldn't happen. And he has family. His family is still in Syria, so he is trying to decide where to go in Europe to try so that he can get his family to him as fast as possible in the shortest period of time, of course. I couldn't imagine leaving my family behind to make that journey. But of course, I guess if he can get there then and get his family there, then it would be easier. Like they might be able to fly versus having to take that dangerous boat trip. He was this one gentleman. He was very nice to talk to. He was a bookseller in Syria. He also, I think, did like finishing work in houses for building. So he's just trying to decide which country he could possibly get a job in. So many refugees, every single one of them that I talk to, wants to go to one of these countries and find a job. They want to work. They want to, like, many of these refugees in the camp want to work. They want to help us as volunteers. They want to help distribute clothing. They want to do something. They don't want to just sit around. I've heard this story over and over again on the internet and interviews, like the Humans of New York and all of those things that came here to Lesvos. And you talk to any refugee and not a single one of them wants handouts. They want they want to just make a life for their family and be safe and not have to worry about being bombed. Like, it's what anybody would want. And they make this dangerous crossing. It's just terrible. Also ran into this man from Pakistan tonight. He had just finished registration, and we were talking to him. His English was very good. And it was like 5 minutes ago, he'd gotten his registration paper, and he was asking where the Pakistani camp was. And actually, the camp is all mixed, really, for sleeping. Anybody can sleep anywhere. But we said, if you have a registration paper, you can go. You can leave. But we didn't know if there were any ferries tonight to go north towards Athens. And he teared up when he was talking about how much he wanted to get his family out of Pakistan. His family was still in Pakistan. So, man, to watch a grown man tear up talking about his family, it's just terrible. Absolutely